threatening me with 400 years in prison for possessing my own presidential papers, which just about every other president has done, is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever put forward in an American court of law.
Former President Trump pleads not guilty on 37 felony counts of mishandling classified documents. And now the 2024 candidate for president is using the federal indictment as a campaign boost. Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes is here fresh off that hours-long coverage of the indictment yesterday.
All right, so we're bringing you back, Khalif. Obviously, after Trump pleaded not guilty, he immediately held that fundraising event where he made claims that seemed to suggest that he, in fact, did do the things that he's accused of doing.
For sure. That prep rally yesterday, if that's what you want to call it, a campaign rally, was definitely part campaign rally and part hearing in the court of public opinion. I think he laid out a couple things, obviously, that there's other folks that have done this in the past, not just me. You're talking about Hillary Clinton, you're talking about Bill Clinton, Pence, and you're speaking about current President Biden. And so he said, listen, if they didn't prosecute those folks, why are they not prosecuting me? Why are they now prosecuting me?
So Trump yesterday, he was talking about the legal proceeding with the Presidential Records Act or something like that. Tell us a little bit about that, because actually, let's go ahead and listen to this shot here first, this sound on tape we have.
Under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal, I had every right to have these documents. The crucial legal precedent is laid out in the most important case ever on this subject, known as the Clinton Socks case.
So what is he talking about here with the Presidential Records Act when it comes to taking records from the White House? Be specific on the details here.
And so obviously what he's pointing to is the Presidential Records Act, and that spun out of the 1978 case with Nixon. And so obviously that Watergate scandal was something where we wanted to protect presidential records apart from personal records. The only problem is there's a lapse in legal judgment. You're pointing to a claim that had nothing to do with criminal prosecution, that was, okay, the president has taken these documents and you're not supposed to take these. And so that's what created this Presidential Records Act. And he mentioned the Clinton case. The Clinton case had nothing to do with the Department of Justice, nothing to do with criminal prosecution, but more so a nonprofit organization wanted these recordings that Clinton had made when he was trying to make a book. And so they said, we want access to these documents, and we want the National Archives Records organization to actually declare these presidential records. And the court said, no, we don't have authority to do that. Only the president has authority to declare these presidential records or private records. And that's what President Trump was doing. The problem with making that statement is he said that, yes, I had these documents. Well, for the Presidential Records Act, yes, that will help you. But when you're accused of espionage, when you're accused of withholding and retaining documents that you're not supposed to withhold and retain, that's a problem. And so down the road, this could potentially cost him for sure. If I'm his defense attorney, I would reiterate, you don't want to say anything, because anything that you say right now will potentially hurt you for sure.
And we talked about this a little bit yesterday because, again, Trump is bringing up, you know, all these other people did it. We can't forget that there is still an ongoing investigation into President Joe Biden.
I mean, the current president is under investigation now, and that has not been to a resolution. Obviously, former Vice President Pence, his case has been resolved, but the keep connecting it to this Presidential Records Act, it will not help him. It may help him in the polls. It may help him raise dollars. But in terms of in the court, where he's actually facing a criminal 37 counts in the state of Florida, he probably needs to stop talking about that particular retention of those documents for sure.
Well, I'm sure that's what the lawyers are doing, but whether that happens, we shall see. Khalif Rhodes, Chief Legal Analyst for Queen City News. Thanks.